and a big spike in gas prices. We're going to break it all down in just a moment.
But we are going to start with that major shakeup at the Department of Homeland Security. Secretary Kristi Noem fired after months of scrutiny over mass deportations and a series of contentious hearings on Capitol Hill this week. We've got it all covered for you. We'll start with NBC's senior White House correspondent, Garrett Hake. Garrett, good morning.
Hey, Craig, good morning. When I spoke to President Trump last night, he told me there was no single reason he decided to replace Kristi Noem at the Department of Homeland Security, and he praised the work that she had done on the border. But his frustration was plainly evident in her Senate testimony this week, in which she claimed she had his blessing for a more than $200 million ad campaign starring herself. And now Noem is the first cabinet secretary to be fired in this second Trump term. Kristi Noem out as head of Homeland Security, the first cabinet member to be fired in President Trump's second term. The president announcing her firing on social media. The news coming as Noem was on stage at a law enforcement conference. She did not address the firing. An administration official tells NBC News the move was due to a culmination of Noem's, quote, many unfortunate leadership failures. Most recently, a grilling on Capitol Hill over a $220 million border security ad campaign that featured her prominently.
But if you come here the right way, your American dream can be as big as these endless skies.
Press over whether the president approved it.
Correct. Work with OMB. Yes.
He did.
Yes.
But last night in a phone interview, President Trump telling me about the spending, quote, I wasn't thrilled with it. I spent less money than that to become president. I didn't know about it. Noem's place in the administration became increasingly unstable following the fatal shootings of two Americans, Renee Good and Alex Preddy, by federal agents during immigration operations in Minneapolis. The former secretary also heavily criticized for purchasing a luxury plane that DHS claimed would be used for deportation flights, and also under scrutiny in Congress for allegations of an inappropriate relationship with a subordinate staffer, Corey Lewandowski, which she called tabloid garbage. The news of her departure drawing bipartisan praise.
Kristi Noem is gone. Good riddance.
She has completely destroyed the high ground that Republicans had.
The president naming Republican Senator Markwayne Mullin of Oklahoma to the post, who was caught off guard by the timing of the announcement.
When did you find out, sir?
A little bit before you guys did.
Mullin, a former MMA fighter, served for a decade in the House before he won a 2022 special election in the Senate. Noem responded to her firing with a social media post thanking the president for moving her into a new special envoy role and highlighting her work to secure the border. As for Mullin, he'll now need Senate approval to take over that top DHS spot, which will take a couple of weeks. And his department is still shut down this morning amid that standoff with Democrats over its funding. Craig?
Garrett Hake starting us off from the White House there. Garrett, thank you. Let's bring in Kristen Welker now, moderator of Meet the Press. Kristen, good Friday to you. So Kristi Noem is out. The ouster, though, coming at a critical time for the administration and the Department as well of Homeland Security. Talk to us about what comes next, Kristen.
Well, Craig, first, the focus will be on getting President Trump's pick to replace Noem. Senator Markwayne Mullin confirmed. You just heard Garrett talk about that. A top leadership aide in the Senate telling me the plan is to move swiftly with his confirmation process. Look, he is someone who is focused on building bipartisan relationships, even holding workout sessions with his fellow senators of both parties. But to that other question, how will all of this impact Democrats partially shutting down the government over their demands that there are real changes to ISIS tactics? Well, one indication is the reaction from House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, who says a change in personnel is not sufficient and there has to be a change in policy. So Craig and Laura expect that fight to continue.
Kristen, now a week since the war with Iran started, how is it affecting the president's standing with his base?
Well, look, the president has argued that the war is ahead of schedule and is promising the U.S. is going to get out in a matter of weeks. But there is skepticism, Laura, here at home. Our latest NBC News poll showing 54% of Americans disapprove of the president's handling of Iran, while 41% approve. And there have been some vocal critics in his MAGA base, there's no doubt about it, who say, look, this war goes against his promise to get the U.S. out of foreign conflicts. Though his administration argues his base is still strong strong overall. But with midterms looming and Republicans fighting to hold on to control of Congress, the challenge for the party is, does the focus on Iran distract from their key message of affordability? But the longer this war stretches out, the more it runs the risk of complicating the president and his party's political standing. We'll have to see how it all plays out. Laura and Craig.
Kristen Walker. Kristen, thank you. And of course, Kristen will have much more on Sunday. If it's Sunday, it's Meet the Press. This Sunday,